Devils Monday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 307, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios bunker in an undisclosed location in New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network, as the Devils are just getting lucky after tonight. The New York Rangers taking on the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Also, the Carolina Hurricanes and Ottawa Senators up in Ottawa. This is the game in hand. What will the Carolina Hurricanes do? Well, simultaneously, if any of you folks, any of you Devils fans, were watching both games at the same time, it was a very interesting 30 minutes. With the Rangers at the time up 2-1 against the Buffalo Sabres, and Carolina Hurricanes tied up with the Ottawa Senators. The Buffalo Sabres, in dramatic fashion, take the New York Rangers to the brink through overtime. Had the power play in the overtime, 4-on-3 power play for the Sabres. Eventually going to a shootout. And of course, it's Capo Caco that couldn't put it home. And the Sabres are victorious, who will play the Devils tomorrow. Ottawa Senators, got a little lucky there, but they beat the Carolina Hurricanes in regulation, which has tremendous playoff implications for your New Jersey Devils as it stands right now. Rangers get the point. The OTL. The Carolina Hurricanes get nothing. They lose. Good day, sir. Currently, as we speak, the Rangers have one game left with 107 points. In third place of the Metropolitan Division, Devils second place off tonight, playing the Sabres tomorrow with 108 points. And the Carolina Hurricanes now matched up finally in the schedule with the same amount of games as the New Jersey Devils at 109 points. Basically, the differential is really based on, right now, as thin margin as the amount of shootout wins that they have this season, the Carolina Hurricanes. And that's what's the difference right now between the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. With the Rangers one game to go, the Devils need to seal the deal tomorrow against the Buffalo Sabres, who are absolutely fighting for their playoff lives. Right now, they are 4 points out of a playoff spot, barely hanging on, the Buffalo Sabres, a desperate team, trying to just hold on behind the Pittsburgh Penguins, the New York Islanders, and the Florida Panthers. But I'll tell you what, Levi, that college kid on the Buffalo Sabres, he played outstanding tonight, going against Igor Shesterkin. But I'll tell you, this is what playoff hockey's all about. And after losing to the Boston Bruins, which no shame at all for the New Jersey Devils, they showed us a lot Saturday night. They showed that they can hang with an elite team, an historically elite team now. Now it's official that the Boston Bruins have more points than any other NHL team in regular season history. But right now, you've got to be happy going to the last week of the season. We were talking about months ago about meaningful games this time of year. Right now, they are more meaningful than ever because tomorrow night could be the night. Carolina Hurricanes take on the Red Wings in Raleigh, North Carolina. Second half of a back-to-back. Detroit coming in with the 35-34-10 record. Will they be the spoiler? Will they be the spoiler? Second half of a back-to-back, the Buffalo Sabres just basically take the PATH train, to Newark to play the New Jersey Devils. And it's going to be an interesting night tomorrow night at American Whiskey. I'll be there. Game Day Live, Devils After Dark at American Whiskey. Lots of things to talk about here on the Woo Report, but the Devils can still capture the Metro. They can. And this is what we were talking about. This is what Tom Fitzgerald was promising. Playing meaningful games in April, as the New Jersey Devils are. Felix says the last time the two Hugheses played in New Jersey, the whole family was at American Whiskey. Yes, American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center. That's the official home game bar of the Let's Go Devils podcast. And we will be there. I'll be there in person. Game Day Live, Devils After Dark. It's going to be a fun night, folks. It's tuning up the playoffs, but also it's the last game of the season, last regular season game at home. We'll talk about the Devils playoff ticket prices a little bit later because I got a little beef about that. But let's just talk a little hockey right now. And then anything can happen tomorrow night. I mean, we could be celebrating a Devils victory and a Carolina loss. But still, the Devils are going to still need a little bit of help from Carolina. But really, the Devils right now, they are just in position. And then Thursday night, Devils play the Washington Capitals. We will be at Stagehouse Tavern, Arlette's viewing party. Arlette is going to be entertaining us, singing, DJing, all music by Arlette at Stagehouse Tavern, 1099 Route 22, eastbound side, Mountainside, New Jersey. We will be there, Game Day Live, and Devils After Dark, as we're getting into our playoff mode right now. Again, key games. Devils, Capitals. Capitals already out of the playoffs, but I wouldn't write them off just yet. Carolina playing Florida. Florida looking to get the win. And Toronto Maple Leafs at the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Again, depending upon what the standings are, is it going to be one of those games where, a throwaway game? I don't know. But right now, everything's starting to tighten up, and the playoffs will be finalized, the scheduling. Oh, my goodness. Did someone say beef? Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of beef about some of the things that I've been reading about your New Jersey Devils and these playoff prices. And I'm not going to sit here and just complain about money. That's not what it's about. I think the optics look pretty bad, if you ask me. I know season ticket holders deserve the discount for sticking with this team, especially in the last 10 years. So if you go to price out the tickets in let's say in section 208, one of the cheaper corners, probably the cheapest seats you're going to get. If you were a season ticket holder this year, one seat would have cost you about $1,200, $1,300 for the entire full season. And the playoffs, well, round one at least, would be at around $50 to $55 a seat, which is reasonable considering it's the playoffs. But if you are a family of four and you want to take your family to one Devils playoff game in the most cost-efficient section, basically the cheapest section, cheapest seats in the arena, and there's no bad sightline in the arena, it would cost you, with Ticketmaster fees, tax, everything included, over $1,000 to take a family of four to a round one playoff game at the Prudential Center, which I think is pretty ridiculous. I know it's the playoffs, but this is not Stanley Cup Finals. And then some of the pricing, I was talking to a friend, it's like, what, $3,200 or for one game for a family of four for just round one? Can't believe that. Welcome, Bachakaloop. Yes, the Caps did win. Yeah, I'm a little mad about these prices because obviously it's expensive to go to playoff games. We know that. But these prices are so bad, to be honest, that even the scalpers don't have any meat on the bone to resell them, which is kind of funny to me, but it's not. And the other thing, too, if it were to happen, and Brat Pack put it out there, I thought Brat Pack said some funny things on Twitter today. But, Brat Pack was thinking, if these tickets are really, this is what he wrote. The Devils have the opportunity to do the funniest thing possible here and win the division and leave 10,000 Ranger fans with Devils home playoff tickets against the Penguins, making a joke there. But let me tell you something. It just reminded me, and I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm probably going to get in trouble by saying this. I've said this over and over and over and over again on this podcast that the people that are running the Devils right now on the business side, especially on the ticket side, I've made an observation. None of them are from Jersey, okay? This Harris Blitzer regime has never really have handled a Devils-Rangers playoff series. And I'd like to just remind them, and, Ryan Novozinski put out an article about the playoff ticket pricing, where they got it from, whatever. I don't care who's right or wrong, but the optics don't look good right now. You just basically gouged your fans. And that's not how you build a fan base. I know a lot of us are going to still buy anyway. But what I'm trying to say here is, if it indeed is a Devils-Rangers playoff series, I'm going to give you a little advice since you guys don't really know what really goes on. And let's go back to previous regimes. The Devils-Rangers, number one. I don't know if this rumor is true, but group tickets being sold to 10,000 Ranger fans, I don't know where that came from, but assuming it's true, I don't know if it is, but you can't do that for a variety of reasons. Because if you actively pursue New York Ranger fans and selling these Devils home playoff tickets, you better beef up security big time at Prudential Center. All right, I've been to enough Devils-Rangers games in the past 25 years where, especially during the playoffs, you better watch your back. Also, a word of advice to the Devils Prudential Center, marketing people, all that. Back in 2012, the last Devils Rangers series, if you're going to be actively selling tickets to Ranger fans, it's one thing if you sell them to individuals, whatever, but to actual groups, let me just tell you something. Back in 2012, under the Vanderbeek regime, they made an effort that Ranger fans don't sell your tickets to Ranger fans. They made an active campaign back in 2012, the Devils did, under the Vanderbeek regime, to do that. Chris Margotti says Ryan said that it wasn't true with that group release. You know what? I believe Ryan, but also if that's what they told him, of course they're going to tell him that. Why wouldn't the Devils tell him that? It just doesn't surprise me that this regime would sell to Ranger fans. Case in point, look what happened the last home game. Secondly, for a Devils-Rangers game in the playoffs, I'm also going to say this. I hope you follow the same protocol and procedures what the Vanderbeek regime did in 2012. If I remember correctly, if you wore a Rangers jersey into our building during that playoff series, guest services would not give you a towel. Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why they didn't give you a towel? Not because to be spiteful against the Ranger fans, but the Ranger fans of the past used to take those towels and clog up the toilets all over Prudential Center and hit flush, and the bathrooms would be flooded. That's the reason why they weren't giving out towels. So I just want to make sure that Prudential Center and the New Jersey Devils are on par here, because it's absolutely disturbing to me to see some of this stuff about the organization selling group packages directly to Ranger fans. Again, I don't know if that's true or not. I know Ryan Novozinski has debunked that, but that's coming from the horse's mouth, the New Jersey Devils. I don't think the Devils will ever, whether it's true or not, ever say that they're selling to Ranger fans. But you know what? Prove it to me. That's all I have to say about that. But you know what? It's just, I'm telling you, these prices, it's one thing to double your money, but this is like quadrupling. This is the first round. This is the introduction of just getting ripped off. But anyway, I don't want to spoil this podcast because of me just moaning and groaning. I'm just more, honestly, it's not about me, about these prices. It's about the average fan, because I see them at American Whiskey sometimes watching the game with us because they simply can't afford to go inside to watch the game themselves. And I feel bad for those fans, and I want them to experience the playoffs just like any other fan. But, if these tickets are for everybody, it's not. Because, I just can't, I don't see any, this is ridiculous. Like I said, it's about $180 per ticket up in Section 208. If you get it on Ticketmaster pre-sale, you add in all the Ticketmaster charges, and suddenly it's $250 at that point per ticket for round one of the playoffs. Doesn't sit well with me. But I don't know. To each their own. If I were to do it, I would have done it another way. But be careful who you sell these tickets to, New Jersey Devils, because if you fill if the place is full of New York Ranger fans, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. And then you have some explaining to do to the season ticket holders that were there the entire time when this team sucked. Chris Margotti says, I bought game one tickets, but I wish I could purchased the whole series without me throwing down $3,000. Ted says I may be there AW on Tuesday. Yeah, Ted watched the game with me. You know, it's fun to watch games there at American Whiskey. But, you know, again, I just don't want this to be a bitch fest about money and all that kind of stuff. I just feel sorry because, look, as a New Jersey Devils fan and season ticket holder, I've seen the Devils win the Stanley Cup. I've probably been to both my professional life and as a Devils fan, I've probably been to about 9 Stanley Cup finals. And I've been blessed. And I like to actually really see other people that have never seen a Stanley Cup final actually get to see one. And just seeing these prices, it's personal for me because I want my fellow Devils fan to experience what I experienced back in 2003, even in 2001, even when the Devils lost the Stanley Cup Finals, and even in 2000. 2000 I was there. 2001 I was there. 2003 I was there. 2012 Stanley Cup Finals I was there. How fortunate am I? I want you to have the same as well. So that's all I really have to say, but the Devils, they can change the narrative right now. They can win the Metropolitan Division, and who would they play? Who would they play? Will they match up well? Will they match up well? But now, the $180, I think it's $199 for those cheap seats. They just went up, according to my friend that just texted me. Beginning of the pre-sale today, the first wave at 11 a.m., he says. $180 before fees. Now it's $226. Keeps on going up and up and up and up. Game 4, which is Game 7. So the fourth game of the first round was $254. Now it's $316 per seat. Price increased at least twice a day, twice during the day. Now $199 for the last seats on the primary before fees. Section 209 jumped from $200 from 11 a.m. to now $245 without fees. Holy crap. Bajagaloop, thank you for the super chat. Said, keep up the good work. I love the podcast. The whole crew, Vinny, Scotty, Shorts Guy, and Beer Baron. Yes. And, yeah, don't forget about Nick Villano as well. Thank you, Bajagaloop. But here on this podcast, you know, I really care about this stuff. I really do. All of the events that we host at the bars, we don't charge a cover. Sometimes we bring players at these events, former players like Grant Marshall, Bruce Driver, Chico Resch, you know, used to come all the time across the street. Colin White, if you remember in the past, some of our events, there were some good times, but we never charged at the door. Because, again, I would love for fans to experience what I've experienced as a New Jersey Devils fan at least once. And I want you to have that opportunity. And you know what? We're going to get that opportunity. Because Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, I would even put Luke Hughes in the mix. You know Luke has got to be playing tomorrow. 1 or 2 games. I love the tease. No, he's definitely playing. He's got to be playing tomorrow. I can't imagine Luke Hughes making his debut down in Washington when, you know, who knows what the situation's going to be. But I would venture to bet that Luke Hughes is playing tomorrow night at the Rock. And that's all I really have to say, folks. That's all I really have to say. I can't hold back. these ticket prices, way out of touch with your fan base, let me tell you. I've never really complained about ticket prices, but when I saw quadruple, we're not talking about 85% higher, 120%. We're talking about 400%. 400% higher than what the season ticket holders pay. Like, that's insane. And we're only talking about the first round. I can't imagine the Stanley Cup Finals. It's probably going to cost $40,000 to sit downstairs for one game at this rate. Chris Margotti, has anyone checked other teams' prices? Well, I talked to my buddy Billy Dean on Hockey on Tap, who is a New York Rangers fan, and he thought our ticket prices were a little ridiculous compared to Madison Square Garden. I'm just basing on what he's telling me. Billy Dean could be wrong. I don't know. But when a Ranger fan tells you this is just not right, it's not good. Not good. And just remember who you let through the doors, New Jersey Devils. Because if it is 80% Ranger fans and 20% Devils fans, you've got a lot of explaining to do. And I wish you well. And please don't give those towels to New York Ranger fans. Because you know what? It's going to be electric. But you better beef up your security. That's all I have to say. All right, then. Good night. It's a good night. Devils are looking good. Carolina losing the one game in hand against Ottawa. Supernova keeping it positive. Hopefully, at least it may deter Rag fans. Maybe. But look, you know how the media is going to work it. The media is going to work it that we didn't show up in the playoffs. But really, there's a lot of blame to go around, but it's not the New Jersey Devils fan. And I think that's really the point I'm trying to make here, because this is what's going to happen. Oh, Devil that red Jack Hughes, all that. And you know what? Not everybody can spend over $1,000 for one game for 4 tickets. So Donald Boyle says face value for round 4 tickets in the 200s is $230 per. So you're talking at season ticket holder rate, or are you talking about public rate? The season ticket holder rate, from what I see, is not that bad. It's expensive, but it's not that bad. But what I'm talking about is general public buying. Yeah, season ticket rate, round 4 tickets, $230. If I remember correctly, I think Stanley Cup Finals was $125 or $155 back in 2012 for one ticket. So actually, if you go by that, it's actually not that bad comparatively to the Vanderbeek regime. Nathan Kim says, wanted to go game 1, family of 3. It was over $1,200. It's too expensive. Yeah, that's the other thing about Ticketmaster. Woo! That convenience charge, wow. That in itself is like highway robbery as well. So I think the Devils probably hit the point. We get it. Get season tickets and you can avoid this crap. I think the message is out. We hear it loud and clear. But yeah, again, just like you, Nathan Kim, wanted to go to game 1, family of 3, and it was over $1,200. It's too expensive. Couldn't agree with you more. And those are the fans that I feel sorry for, that I sympathize. Don Boyle says, my round one tickets are in 120 are only $45. Yeah, the season ticket rate's great. It's great. But you deserve it, though. You stuck with the team. You bought the plan. And you know what? Probably the Devils are going to win in the end anyway. Corporate. Remember, the corporate. They'll win in anyway. If I had my wish right now, I want to win the lottery and buy all you guys tickets. So at least you can experience it once. And that's all I have to say. And for those that are season ticket holders, you deserve this. Dropping the podcast at midnight. Be American Whiskey tomorrow, Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. You never know who's going to be there. And April 13th, Thursday, last game of the season before the Devils take on the Washington Capitals. Stagehouse Tavern, 1099, Route 22, eastbound side of Mountainside, New Jersey, in Union County. Union County. We'll be there. Music by Arlette. It's going to be a good time, folks. It's going to be a good time. And I'm going to hit the button. It's all good, folks. It's all good. The Devils can still capture the Metropolitan Division. The crown could be still ours. We could have a banner up next season. Metropolitan Division regular season champions. Your New Jersey Devils. But we're going to get greedy. We want more than that. We want more than that. And please, the Harris Blitzer regime at guest services at Prudential Center, don't give those Ranger fans any towels. They'll clog up your toilets. That's what I was told last time in 2012. The reasoning why they didn't give out those towels to those Ranger fans. They were smart then. You know, no need to reinvent the wheel. Keep that same policy. I'll be happy. That's right. And then that's how we'll have the home ice advantage as well. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, folks. Dropping the podcast at midnight. Till next time, this is the Woo Report. Let's go, Devils.